Now I feel jealous because I have a half drank Monster and it's not quite as cold. You see, delayed gratification, bro. Delayed gratification.
That prep really.
I don't any more reward from Monster in prep versus just any other time in life. I love it the same.
Caffeine is at this point just like air. Like I just
literally. But the thing is that I don't think I drink Monster for the caffeine. I legitimately just love the taste of it.
Dude, this
fire.
Look, Monster isn't running out of peas yet, but this new one right here, man. Oh,
bro, what do you actually have to do to get like a Monster ambassadorship or sponsorship? Whatever.
Dude, if the guys and gigs can't get it, I don't know who can.
Imagine if we and they don't have it. Monster, do it just for shits and giggles, literally. Yeah, man. So the fucking OG is back.
What is up, man? I heard you guys my name in the last podcast. I didn't like that. So when you said, "Hey, man, pull through," I said, "I'm gonna pull all the way."
The only thing,
Except
for T, little bitch. To be fair,
it wasn't wrong. I am prep. I'm soft. I'm tender.
Oh, where's my goddamn vape? You know.
Oh snap! Is them?
I'm revealing. Yeah, that's good enough. I'm revealing like too many of my addictions. My.
Oh, don't forget the crackers up there.
Yeah, man. So the last podcast that you and I did was actually a really good one, but then we had technology issues.
Oh shit!
Do you remember?
Yeah,
that one.
Damn, bro, that conversation was such, and I think we still have the audio, right?
I think the audio, yeah.
One day we might leak the audio and just a taste of all that mental dump.
That's true. I can just upload the audio to Spotify.
We'll put it over like if you need to, bro. People want to see us.
Yeah, a lot of fucking training footage. Holy shit.
Let's fucking train. Let's make it happen.
So, I mean, I don't remember the specifics, like the details specifics of what we spoke about on that podcast, but I know the gist of it. And I also know that you're probably going to be able to have an even better frame of reference now. So I think what I'm interested to hear is, as a really, really top level athlete that is transitioning into coaching, how are you finding that transition? What are the obstacles that you've had to deal with? What are the challenges? And I mean, that can range from, client related stuff. It can relate to time capacity. It can relate to, something that I think Tians and I have spoken about before, which is like that dynamic of kind of imposter syndrome. Like, I'm a coach now, people are expecting a certain level from me, especially because of who I am as an athlete. Can that translate into the results that I'm producing?
So, look, I've formally gone in, and I like to specify that I've formally gone into coaching as of early this year.
Yeah.
Right. Because I've been helping people with their transformations for years, not as many years as you, but for a long time, right? And I've had quite a lot of success with that. But the game changes when it's something you're getting paid for.
When it's official, yeah.
Because
people are investing into that service.
100%. Initially, it was like the people that would stay consistent with me would ask me, they'd check in weekly and all of that. And I'd just say, okay, perhaps do this now, perhaps do that. Now that they're paying me for a service and you get all this data, I mean, the sheets are very thorough, all of that. I found that initially I felt a lot of pressure because I wanted to deliver. And based on the standard that you set for my journey, honestly, I was just like, you have to be at the top of your game when you give people advice. But that pressure relinquished quite quickly for me. The reason being is because I think my coaching is more around the and not that yours is not. My coaching is more around the personal relationship that I have with my clients and making them put things in place to make them successful first,
Mhm.
and then we worry about the scale moving and everything later. Those things might happen at the same time, but I try and emphasize the fact that, I pride myself on the fact that my athletes or my lifestyle clients, their mental health means a lot to me,
Mhm.
right? And I try and emphasize the fact that if that is something that we can make, that we can optimize,
Mhm.
within the realm of your good and bad, then we can really get some results, because then this will feel like another part of who you are.
Okay.
So I've had some great success with that. And I think the hardest thing for me was getting the people to understand that you came to me for a service. You said this matters to you. Once we sign the contract and we have this relationship, I'm deeply invested in your journey as well. Right. So
Absolutely.
by me being deeply invested, it means, and I used to do this quite a lot, following up on missed check-ins, like personally,
Yeah.
not just the system. And I pop people WhatsApps or messages on Kahunas, be like, "Hey, how are you doing? I saw you missed your check-in. Can you just follow up? Are you okay?" Because I had this nagging urge to feel validated by this experience, right?
That so remember that, because that's an important topic I want to come back to.
Yeah. So that validation, like, oh, he does check in, he does care, and all of that. But the fact that I have given you all the tools that you need, and I check in on you on a weekly basis, and I make the adjustments, and I consider all these variables. I'm not just like dotting I, I'm not even dotting I's. I'm not just like giving you a cookie cutter, cut and paste, and then sending you a plan. It's already me saying, I care about you.
Yeah.
Right. I'm deeply invested in people's journey. So when they didn't even respond to the WhatsApps, didn't respond to the community
Yeah.
messages, I'm like, you know what? Okay, I know it's not me, right? Because the people that are doing the stuff that they're supposed to do
Are getting the
are
results,
else, right?
and they're communicating, and
Yeah,
they're
and they're
doing all the right
communicating
stuff.
and all of that. And sometimes someone will leave or like disappear, and when they come back, they're like, "It was all me.
Mhm.
I missed you. I'm sorry. Things were just too hectic, whatever." Then I'm like, "Hey, man, chill, bro. Just do it. Do your job. Do it to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
Just like you and Fats and Tians were saying in the last podcast.
Yeah.
Show up and show up to the best of your ability, and then watch the magic happen."
In that last podcast, and it was I even somewhat unsuccessfully posted a snippet of that section on an Instagram reel, because at the show on Saturday there was just like typical fucking Krugersdorp, no soul reception, couldn't do a fucking thing, couldn't let
Yep.
my wife know what I was doing, couldn't post on Instagram. But anyway, T asked basically how do you define failure, and how do you handle it, how do you deal with it? So the client coaching experience does need to be 50-50. Sometimes it's going to be 60-40, sometimes it's going to be 70-30 on either side. But so far, how would you kind of define where a level where you need to maybe put in a little bit more to get somebody going or get somebody building momentum, or a point where it's like, hey, listen, you're putting in zero here. How do you find that? Because I find that a gray area that I still can't necessarily define. Like what I said on that podcast is, I still take that very personally. I still always ask the question, what could I have done differently? What could I have done better? What is that one sentence that I could have said to this person to make them accountable and to make them motivated and to keep them engaged? Where do you draw that line? Where do you draw the line where it's like, you know what, this is probably not a person that I want to be working with anymore?
There, as to not a person I don't want to work with anymore yet, right? Because sometimes, like, some of my best clients right now are people that really struggled in the beginning, right?
Mhm.
And it wasn't a struggle in the sense that they weren't even trying. It was those bad habits take a while to weed out,
Yeah.
right? So I give people grace initially, and I probably shouldn't be saying this publicly because some of you guys are going to try me, but I give people grace initially, right?
Yeah.
This is not something, sometimes people jump in and they don't realize how deep it is, right? And
I think that's 95% of the time.
yeah, and it's depth is not necessarily in what I'm putting forward to you.
Mhm.
The depth is the fact that your entire life is so polar opposite to what you're currently doing, to what we need to do to get you to that goal, that there's so much swimming we need to do to just get to the surface and get you before we can even get you swimming in the right direction.
Yeah.
Right. So what I find is that the people that I struggle with the most, that frustrate me the most, are the people that want more for less. Right.
Yeah.
And by that I mean you came to me last week, you had a terrible check-in, there's blanks on your sheets, you didn't do the exercises or you didn't do the diet properly, you went out the same way you went out the previous week, and etc., family gatherings or whatever the case may be. And I tell you, hey dude, this needs to change. And I'm not the type of person who tries to change everything all at once. I'll choose an area that will reap results, and I try and say, focus on this
One
area.
thing at a time, one thing at a time.
And they won't focus on that. And then they'll come back and be like, is there anything I can take to make it quicker?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, yeah, take a page out of my book and just do the thing I told you to do. And in my check-ins, I can be firm, but still like, dude, come on. Like, I'm trying to help you. You came to me. Like, my brother.
I want to see one of your check-ins
I
because
should send them. Hey.
I want to see one of your check-ins because I struggle to see you like laying down the law.
Let's role play.
Okay, we can role play.
Let's role play.
Okay.
So you're a client, right?
Yeah.
And we've been together for 4 weeks, right?
Okay.
The last 4 weeks, you have been messaging me on WhatsApp, asking me, for the general like tidbits here and there.
Yeah.
And your check-ins have been atrocious because you haven't been filling stuff in. You're going out on weekends, and you really want to lose weight. December's coming, and it's coming fast.
I've been drinking, just been fucking going out to restaurants.
Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on it, and then like Thursday you start to, and then Friday,
and then Sunday you
okay.
I just tank it. Yeah.
So position as that client.
Okay. So I feel like I'm doing more, and I feel like I'm doing better than I ever have, and I'm still not seeing results, and I don't understand why. I think that we need to change things up here and get more aggressive with the deficit. And I think that I would want to look at some stuff that I can take to speed up the process.
Okay, cool. So last week you had a similar check-in, right? You came to me, and at the start of this journey, you wanted to lose 10 kilos by December so that you could start feeling good about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And we started with macros, right? You thought you could track macros. You couldn't do that. So you asked me to create a meal plan. I've done that, right? I asked you to sleep more and drink more water as a start, right? Meal plan, sleep better, eat more. You couldn't follow the meal plan. You didn't sleep better. You didn't eat. You didn't sleep more, hydrate either, right? Now you want me to change something else in order for you to reap the results. And I don't think that makes sense, right? I've given you 3 tasks. You haven't executed on any of them. If your son was to come back with homework, or your daughter was to come back with homework, there are 3 different subjects that they had to do simple tasks for, and they didn't do a single piece of that homework. What would you say to your own son or daughter who didn't execute the way they were supposed to and came to you and said, yeah, but I want my iPhone because, I want to play, I want screen time. I'm dedicating myself to you and giving you the time of day, so give me the same. I'm deeply invested in this journey, but I'm not going to be more invested than you are. Let's get going. I think you can do better. Take care.
I like it. Listen, I don't know what I would say in response to that, because luckily I've never received a check-in like that. Thank God, I've never received a check-in like that. But I mean, hearing it makes sense to me, man.
Yeah, and
it makes sense to me. I'm like,
yeah, and I think the ones when a dad, because I've got a few dads on my roster right now, and they're the ones who either get it really quickly when I make that analogy, or the ones who it still doesn't resonate with, right? Where they're like, yeah, but it's my son, it's supposed to listen to. I'm like, yeah, you're not my son, but you're paying me for a service.
Yeah.
It's even worse because you're shipping money out that you could be using to go and drink more and party more and enjoy yourself.
If that's what you want to do.
That's what you want. And you're this thing looming over you, and then you feel bad on a Monday when you're checking in. I don't want you to feel bad.
Do you think there's an element? I mean, I think so. Do you think there's an element of whatever they're doing, however not according to your plan it is, it's something more and better than what they were doing previously. So by default, they think, well, it's different, it's better. I'm not doing as much of the drinking, as much of the shitty eating as I was before. Therefore, I should be getting results. But what they don't understand is how significant of a surplus they were in before. So they might have been in like 1,000 calorie per day surplus.
Yeah.
Now they're doing better. They're only in a 200 calorie per day surplus, but they're still in a surplus. They're not in a deficit.
100%. That analogy of the pool and how deep they are in
Yeah.
is so like real to me, because I'm like, you were at the bottom of the pool, you might be halfway to the surface, you're still not there yet.
Yeah.
You know, keep swimming, because once you get to the top and you start seeing the results of your efforts, you're gonna be like, wow, this view is amazing. And now we get to cruise and you get to your goal a lot quicker. This becomes a part of who you are.
Yeah.
And you know, it's crazy. Some of the clients that I get who've never dieted before jump in and they're like, no, I just want chicken and rice. I'll create this meal plan with like sweets and and you know, nice breakfast and smoothies and all of that. And they'll be like, actually, can I just have chicken and rice and like a sauce option? And I'll be like, are you sure, dude? Like, can you stick to it? This guy has stuck to it the whole time.
That's incredible.
Cruising is like, hey, you can make it harder if you want. I don't mind eating less. I'm like, brother, take it easy.
What do you think that is? What do you think that difference is between people that is like, some people just take to it like a fish to water, and it's just like, all right, I understand what I got to do. I'm just going to do it. And the people that don't do that, what is the difference? There has to be something.
As you were saying that, I had an idea of where your question was going. I'm like, is it because the people who take to it like a fish with water have either failed before and they're like, I'm not failing again? Or perhaps the plan you end up giving them is a lot easier than what they actually expected it to be. So they're like, oh snap, I thought I was going to have to eat like chicken and rice the whole time or fish and thing.
Yeah.
I actually get to have these things. Oh no, man, chilled. I can do this. Or they're just so busy that just having the structure actually makes their lives a whole lot easier.
I'm fairly certain that expectation of what it's going to be like does play a role in it, for sure. I've found, and this may not always be the case, but I've definitely found a correlation between, let's say, people that either have jobs or have been engaged in some kind of sport where they have learned to be coachable. They've learned to take instruction well. So I coach a lot of people in the military, and I know if I get somebody from the military, it's gonna be easy.
Yeah,
it's easy work, bro. Easy work. You say do this, and they're gonna do it. Or if you get somebody that was like, you know, a high school football player or college football player or something like that, that's been coached before, even though it's a different kind of coaching, they follow instruction very, very well. They follow it to a T. They know how to be coachable.
What about people who are managers or have started their own businesses quite quickly and have had success in that versus people who are, I wouldn't say blue collar workers, but like the people on the ground? How do you find the difference in the people who are like normally in a instruction point of, place in their lives versus people who receive?
Oftentimes the hardest to deal with.
Yeah.
Oftentimes the hardest to deal with.
Yeah.
Probably because they're not used to or don't like taking instruction. It's often that often manifests in, oh, but I read this. Can't I do it this way? Can't I try this? Can't I try that? And it's just kind of, you know, even if, let's say the point that they're making, the strategy that they want to try, theoretically makes sense. It's like, listen, what you're asking is to implement a strategy that is far more complex, far more requires far more structure, far more planning. Right now, you're not planning adequately just to do the bare basics. So like, how about you get, well, it's exactly what you said. How about you get that right? And then we can move on to something more advanced.
Yeah.
You know, you
Yeah.
kind of have to take one step at a time. It's like, don't try and learn fucking advanced trigonometry if you can't do addition and subtraction. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's an interesting thing. And one of the things that I look out for, because initially you hear it as a coach and you're like, oh, okay, this person's gonna rock it. But when I hear the phrase, I'm willing to do anything that it takes, I'm like, bing, bing, bing. This is gonna be a problem. This is gonna be a big problem. I had a guy, and I mean, he really is a wonderful guy. Super cool, and I think he definitely loves training. But he said that to me at the beginning. His sentiment was, I've tried everything. That's also another red flag for me. I've tried everything and nothing works. And I'm willing to do anything that you tell me to do. And I mean, the dude was with me for three months. I think of those 3 months, so I mean, theoretically 12 to 14 check-ins, I think he probably checked in half that amount of time. And I don't think he had one week where he had even one day within 5 grams of each of his macros.
Damn.
And constantly argued the point of everything that I asked him to do. Lo and behold, didn't see any progress, left, and it's like, is this going to be another I tried everything scenario? Because from what I see, you didn't try anything actually.
Yeah.
You didn't try anything. It's you what you want is to do the same things that you've been doing, but get different results just because there's somebody that you're paying.
Yep.
But you're doing the exact same things that you did previously.
Don't the money. Just keep doing what you're doing. Just like buy your missus more flowers. You know?
Yeah.
Buy your man more football tees and we'll be good.
More football tees.
Like, it's really not, like, this is a luxury. Like, I don't want to lie to you. Like, as much as look, the principles of being able to control your diet and exercise and stay healthy aren't a luxury. It's something that you should be doing regardless, because the expense of not feeling well and being in ill health is a lot higher.
Yeah.
Right? But having a coach is a luxury for most people. You know, so that's why during COVID, we're offering the service that's one of the first to go, because people can't afford you. But nonetheless, you have now invested in yourself and said, this is what I want to do. And I'm willing to part ways with my hard-earned money in order to reach this goal. If you're going to pay a doctor to do surgery on you, then you're like, listen, but don't put me under, like, do it under local.
Yeah.
So I can tell the surgeon, no, cut this way. Cut, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
But then why hire me on here? Let me just give you the tools and you can just
and you do the surgery.
everything yourself.
There's a very, I mean, we're kind of like joking about it. And I mean, you have to, because, you know, it's part of the game. But there is a very, in my opinion, a very damaging component of it, because I don't believe that anybody like that really steps away from the process. And I think they try and convince themselves that they did everything that they could and it didn't work. But I think deep down, if you're even a remotely like intelligent person, you know that you didn't do the things that you were supposed to. And I think every time that you try something, and every time you commit to something and you don't do the things that you're supposed to do, you're essentially just losing trust in yourself. You're breaking a promise to yourself. And if you can't trust yourself, then you don't respect yourself. And where does that lead? Nowhere good. Honoring promises to yourself is like one of the most important
It's the highest
things.
form of self-love.
Dude.
The highest form of self-love. I mean, you look, and I think it has to be hard at some point. You're learning a new skill. Like, it's a skill that we should all be taught from a young age. Fair enough. The nuances and the technicalities of it, obviously, you'll learn later. That's when you specialize. But you're learning a new skill, and if you were to pick up, and it's something as complicated as say learning the drums, right? Where there's a snare, there's a bass, there's a hi-hat, there's all of these components.
Yeah.
And we're saying just hit the hi-hat. Start there, hit the hi-hat. And you're like, yeah, no, but I've tried hitting the hi-hat before. I'm like, just hit hi-hat,
Yeah.
and you'll be good, right? And then next week I'm like, just pop the snare a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, at the end of this journey, you're going to be playing music like no one's business. But if you don't
That's a good analogy.
allow me to help you to jump onto this journey and learn how to hit each of these different components of this journey, you're robbing not just yourself, but me of the opportunity of teaching you how to live a better life.
Yeah.
Right. And I think if people just gave themselves an opportunity to suck at it, but put in the work to unlearn all of the easy things that come with not, sticking to a plan and, failing, then the rewards downstream, dude, are so beneficial.
You raise such important points, and I've thought about it. I've thought about it in this manner before, but now that you say it, I think that is such a crucial way to look at it. Is you're not just going on a diet, you're not just trying to lose weight, you're actually learning a new skill. I think if people look at it that way, then they will give themselves more time and latitude to become proficient at the skill before they start obsessing over seeing tangible progress. It's like, let me get up to a certain level of skill acquisition first before I start worrying about, am I getting the results that I'm looking for? You know?
The results are just a great symptom of the skill.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I just so happen to lose weight and do this.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't go to the, like, I don't know about you, but I started going to the gym because I was scared of being bullied, right?
Okay.
But then, no, I started lifting weights. I didn't go to the gym. I went to the gym a lot later, but I started lifting weights because I was scared of being bullied.
What lifting if not at the gym?
With the Trojan set of dumbbells.
Oh, sick. Okay.
And I was just like, hey, mom, are you using this? I'm going to high school next year. Please, can I,
I don't want to get fucked up.
Yeah, I don't want to get beaten up. She's like, you're not going to be beaten up. I said, I want to be huge, so that they don't even try me. And then I would like be there and lifting. Can't remember where I was going with this. But anyway.
I actually do have, sorry,
yeah.
Slightly tangential. TK posted a picture of you on our group the other day of like you're drinking the coffee or whatever the case is. She was making a comparison to you and Carlton from Fresh Prince. But I said, Tien said to me, he showed me that picture on Saturday, and he was like, would you ever, if you looked at this guy and you saw this, would you say that he had the potential to become what he's become? And I said, yes.
Really?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that was still a fairly impressive physique. I mean, you had ab outlines, there was muscle, there was thickness, there was good shape. How old were you in that picture?
Dude, that was 2018.
2018, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was already like, I had been training for a long time at that point still.
Okay.
Right. But never, as we're speaking about the skills, right,
yeah,
I would never play the hi-hat long enough to master that skill.
Yeah.
I'd always think I knew how to play it.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the snare came into play, I was like, blah, 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 blah. You know?
Yeah.
So that's actually, it's that period in my life before I got a coach and understood how long it takes and how consistent you have to be over a long period of time. Had I not been with a coach, I wouldn't have known that this is an extended, this effort has to be extended for a very significant period. And there's changes that you need to make along the way for you to see those results. Right?
Yeah.
So going back to that picture and seeing if I would imagine myself where I am right now.
I'm sure you would never imagine.
Dude, I'm genuinely, I can't imagine myself. And there's a common question in bodybuilding podcasts or on bodybuilding podcasts where they'll get a question and the guy's like, oh, looking at me right now, do you think I'll be, a decent pro? Like, dude, if you look at of my first check-ins, like if you were to look at the first check-in I ever sent to like my first coach,
Yeah.
I would have never said I'd be a quality bodybuilder, let alone a quality natty
Pro.
body. No, I'm saying quality natural bodybuilder.
Oh,
back
okay.
then, right? Because I look completely different.
Yeah.
Right. The shape of my legs was completely different. My back had no development whatsoever. You hadn't trained long enough with the right nutrients to see these results.
Yeah.
So I'm like, just fuck around and find out.
Yeah, because there are guys that you see that are like untrained rarely, or they're training like they're doing a sport or whatever the case is, and you see them and you're like, I'm going to get you into a gym and you're going to be something special. But then there are guys that look like nothing.
Yep.
And you get them into the gym and they just explode.
Look at even where Nick Walker started.
Yeah.
You know, you look at where Aaron Banks was before he went into men's physique, for instance.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
and he started late as well.
Yeah. It's like, right do you have to look the way you look right now? It's like those genetics have just been like just chilling dormant and stuff. And you just went dum 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 on the window and they were like, oh yeah? Oh
yeah.
So you don't know what's waiting for you out there. Like give it a try for long enough.
Yeah.
And see what beast is lying within you.
But you never know unless you really give it a try.
Give it one hell of a swing, dude. Like swing as hard as you can for as long as you can, as consistently as possible. And you might wake up, in 3 months, 6 months, 3 years, and be like, oh my goodness, like this is me.
Yeah.
And it's the best thing. Honestly, this journey is the best thing I've ever done for myself.
I couldn't agree more, because I mean it translates into so much more than just an impressive physique. It really does, because the key component, you said it earlier right at the beginning. You said, clients will, not check in for several weeks and then they'll come back and say, oh, sorry, I've missed you. Things got crazy, whatever the case is. And the point from the beginning is expect it to be hard. Don't expect life to accommodate your fitness goals.
Yeah.
Like life is not going to accommodate for you. Life is going to do life.
Yep.
And
it does.
Life is going to do life. And if you understand from the beginning that this is a long-term thing, it's not going to be weeks, it's not going to be months. It's like to really get to where you want to go. For most people, it's going to be years. And then that's always going to be a moving target.
Yep.
If you understand that, then you understand, in order to get where I want to go, I'm going to have to deal with the shit that life throws at me. And if I use that as an excuse to not check in, to not fulfill my obligations, to not tick the boxes, then I'm never going to get to where I want to go. So do you think that less people would be inclined to engage in this process if they knew from the outset how difficult and challenging it would be?
I think if they just admitted that to themselves from the beginning, they'd be more inclined to. Like, just expect if someone told you you're going to learn the drums.
Yeah.
We're watching Limitless with the
Bradley Cooper, no?
Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, the documentary.
Yeah. And that's a good series as well.
It is good. It is good.
It's a good movie. And the series is really good as well.
Mm-hmm.
But Limitless with Chris Hemsworth, and he learns how to play the drums, and he does it at an Ed Sheeran concert, right? In season 2.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right?
I've watched season 1, season 2, yeah.
So he has to play the drums, and he chooses the hardest instrument. He had any instrument, but learning the new skill actually helps your brain stop aging as fast, and it builds new neural pathways, highly beneficial, right? And he admitted that, I didn't realize how difficult this would be. I knew it would be difficult, but I didn't realize. But he stayed committed to it because there was something at the end of it that he had already signed the contract for.
Yeah.
He couldn't chicken out of.
You can't. Yeah.
But unfortunately, you can chicken out at any point.
Oh, yeah.
You can just be like, maybe when you start your journey, 6 months down the line or whatever, if it's a weight loss or putting on muscle, or however you want to structure it, book with the photographer, pay the photographer.
That's what I always say. You have to have skin in the game.
Yeah.
You have to have skin in the game.
Like paying me a month, it might not be, like you might just have that money lying around. So
Bless you. I mean, used to it.
Exactly.
You know, after month 3, month 4, it's like, oh, this is just another expense. Just, yeah.
So
You
I'm
know,
saying,
just like the gym fee that you don't use.
exactly.
You know,
66% of people pay for a gym membership in November.
Doesn't surprise me.
Right. So, and that's not a made up stat. I promise you, I know numbers. Right? But if you then have, like you said, skin in the game,
Yeah.
then you're like, I have to learn the skill because there's a deadline looming and I have to execute.
Mhm.
It shouldn't feel like more pressure because you're going to be like, I know that's coming. I'm going to stay committed. And when you fall off, it's going to be, okay, I need to get back on track because I know I need to execute this.
Yeah.
Just like with your studies, just like with all these other things in your life. Just run the course and then you'll see at the end of it, there's so much more to gain.
Yeah. I think people also view it as, I mean, you kind of alluded to it where you're saying this is a luxury. I think obviously what you're referring to is more coaching as a luxury, but being health conscious isn't a luxury.
100%.
Like you have to be, or you're going to pay that debt. You're going to pay that debt later.
Yep.
That's for damn sure. So why not take it as seriously as you do work or anything else, where it's like, oh, you know, I mean, you don't phone into your boss and say, oh, you know, life happened, it's a little bit chaotic, so I'm not going to be coming to work for the week. You know what I mean? It's an obligation. You have to fulfill it. And you know, I would hope that people view, I'm not saying getting fucking shredded like 6% body fat, but just not letting yourself go to the point where your health deteriorates. Like, people should view that in the same way. It's not an option.
Yeah, but there's no immediate danger.
That's the
That's
You're not going to get fired from life.
no.
Yeah.
You know, so you get to, and people are like, I don't know how it happened. This happened little by little, every day, all your effects compounding. I mean, we all have a vice.
Yeah.
You know, most of us, I'm sure, I'm good with numbers. 99.65 of us have vices.
I'm sure it's 100%. Everybody has a vice.
So you choose based on what you're willing to live with in terms of the consequences of that vice, right? And we don't see it, but most people day to day are happy to eat more and do all of this, buy the bigger clothes. You know, when it's time for them to buy bigger clothes, feel uncomfortable, all of that. And it ends up just being like a little cloud that keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. And eventually you have this like dark cloud over you. You're like so accustomed to not seeing the light. So you're just like, you know, I'm going to keep going. But then you get struck by lightning. And then you have to go to hospital, you know, and then you need like bariatric surgery, or you need a triple bypass or double bypass, whatever the case may be, because of all the decisions you haven't made, actually.
Yeah, true.
Right.
True.
So I think it's just, unfortunately, there's no immediate doom, and people will continue. There's a book that I read in varsity called The Slight Edge. And he basically speaks about it, but it was by David Olson. And he speaks about the fact that there's small things that we do on a daily basis that are either going to positively influence our lives or negatively. But we'll continue to, and I hate to pick on you, smoke or do whatever because there's no immediate danger. But if we could immediately feel the effects of whatever we're doing as if it was the last day we were going to do it, then we wouldn't act upon it. So if I knew that, I don't know, I've got many advice. If I knew that, say, drinking, when I was drinking, would give me liver failure, let's say.
Yeah.
And I took a sip and my
you felt that shit. Yeah.
Most likely I wouldn't drink.
100%. So from a coaching perspective, especially now that you're getting more deeply entrenched in that, but you're also like back into prep, getting things moving. From a coaching perspective, what are some of the biggest challenges that you've kind of had to deal with up until this point?
In terms of my coaching?
Just coaching in general. So whether it be, you know, client related stuff, whether it be time management related stuff, whether it be system, schedule, whatever it is.
Yeah. So fortunately, I've had you to learn from, right? I I haven't had to make my own mistakes, like as many of my own mistakes. And you know, a lot of the things that you said, like start your journey as if you have 100 clients.
Yeah.
Right. So one part where I've not failed, but really haven't done as well as I wanted to is that I'm still a bit too accessible
Yeah.
on WhatsApp and things like that. So I get a lot of questions like outside of working hours from clients who are asking, hey, you know, about this meal, can I have this or this? Or, hey, I'm going out tonight, can I drink? Or, you know, and I'm like, you wouldn't call your doctor at like 6 p.m. and say, can I
do this? Can I do
this?
that?
If it's not a life-threatening
Yeah.
thing. Like make the decision for yourself and let's deal with it when you check in.
When you check in, yeah.
Right. So those are the kinds of things that
because also I think 90% of the time, if you're asking the question, you probably know the answer. You probably know the answer. Let's be honest.
You know,
where does that desire for, from the client's perspective, that desire for immediate accessibility come from, or at least the perception that that should be the case?
I think your proximity to the client. So if you're coaching someone you've never met before, versus coaching a close friend or a colleague or a family member,
just an acquaintance,
like depending on their proximity to you, they're going to treat this as probably just chatting. You know, like I'm just asking you, my bro, like, can I do this or not? You know, and it's like, no, but you're not asking me as your friend. You ask me as your coach.
Yeah. Something the other day, it was actually Phet's client.
Yeah.
And he asked a local client, and he asked her to help him out with some kind of execution related stuff in the gym, right? And he says after the session, oh, you know, guys, also speaking to me, you guys should think about doing this as kind of like a value add to your clients. And I said to him, no, zero chance this happening. And he says, but why? It's so valuable. And I really think, and I said, no.
Yeah.
And he's like, why? I'm like, brother, because I coach over 100 people. Can you imagine if even 10% of those people on a weekly basis want me to do this with them? That is 20 extra hours out of my week for from what you're saying is no extra income. No. In what other world, in what other industry, in what other vacation is anybody going to be doing that? It's not going to happen.
100%. It's like every time you go to the dentist and you have a cavity, it's like, I just whiten my teeth while you're at it.
Yeah.
You know, you might as well.
You're here.
We're doing shit. Just do it. It's like, no.
And that's even I would think that's even better because you are there.
Yeah.
You are already there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's weird. I think it's because you are remote. Like even if you're working with somebody that's local, that you're friends with, or that you're acquaintances with, you're remote, so they don't see the amount of work that you're putting in with other people.
Yes.
They only see how much work you're putting in with them.
Yeah.
And they only see how much work you're putting in with them with their check-ins, which might be 5 to 10 minutes.
That video.
Don't see what comes before that, what comes after that, and all the other people.
Dude, you've been doing this for a long time, and the amount of attention to detail has increased, I'd say, exponentially. I mean, even since I started with you, right? Also, happy belated anniversary. It was in July.
Was it really?
Brother?
Seriously?
Brother?
Happy anniversary, bro.
Happy Gains Day. Yeah, so your attention to detail has grown exponentially, right? How do you balance not adding more detail and still giving people the results they need? Because it's your interest, you're going to do it anyway. Right?
Yeah.
But how do you avoid diving too deep for less reward? Because there's a law of diminishing returns at some point, and you need to be able to still provide all this value to all your clients. What's the for you?
So I would say there's not a cutoff for me. In general, there's a cutoff per individual based on the level that they're at.
Okay.
like if I'm dealing with you, there's no cutoff, because if there's any extra detail that we can look into that's going to give you a 1% advantage, then we want that.
Yeah.
Then there's a whole bunch of detail that I would forego with a lot of clients, because right now I'm just trying to get you to hit your protein goal.
Yeah. Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't need to be calculating your fucking fat-free mass index every week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it depends on the person. But I think the basic premise would be, if there's something more that we can track, and extra data that we can gather, that is going to be of immediate tangible advantage to you, then I'm willing to do it.
As long as you're doing the work as the client
Yeah,
to warrant it.
exactly. If that's warranted, then we'll do it.
So then how do you believe a coach like Stefan, who just helped Earth in his open debut? How do you believe
Fucking crazy, by the way. Fucking crazy.
How do you coach? Like, it wasn't even proper off season, and this guy has now gone into the open division and just smashed a bunch of really, really good contenders. How do you believe a coach at that level, with so many high quality athletes, is able to do that? Because at some point, I think you need to brace yourself for the fact that you're going to have many more already. In the past 12 months, you've gained a lot of high quality athletes. Right?
Yeah.
How are you going to manage that?
So, it'll be interesting to kind of see the depth that somebody like that does go into. And I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm sure he does. But like I've said before, I don't think you can necessarily gauge the quality of a coach, or how in depth they are, or how much detail they're looking at, simply by the quality of their athletes. Because I think just like any other endeavor where people gain, notoriety or fame within that particular industry, just because you're well known, let's say, for example, musicians or DJs or whatever the case is, just because you're well known and just because you're booking a lot of gigs, doesn't mean necessarily that you're good. It just means, Tien's raised the point the other day, of like the amounts of effort that so many people, including myself, go into like editing YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And wanting it to look really good and really polished and good audio and, good quality. And he's like, and then you have somebody like Sam Sulek, who's just like filming on his little Sony. It's not particularly good quality. There's not a huge amount of effort or forethought that goes into it. It's just one scene to the next, talking shit. His videos are like 40 minutes long, yet somehow they get like millions of views. Yeah. And I'm sure you can find hundreds of thousands of other content creators that are putting out better quality stuff, but not getting the views and not getting the attention. So does that make Sam a better content creator? I don't think so. I think it just makes him more famous, and he's getting more views, but it doesn't necessarily make him better. So, but to answer your question more specifically, how would I handle it? Well, I would handle it by doing what I have done and what I'm currently doing, which is I need to seriously limit my client load. I can't just take somebody on because they want to be coached by me. I have to essentially now, that initial client call has transitioned from, let me get details about you, let me get your background, let me get blah, blah, blah. And, really an opportunity for them to interview me as, do you want me to be your coach? To me interviewing them as to, do I want you to be my client? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to work both ways. And the reality is, if you're getting higher level people are more invested in the process. If they're more invested in the process, it's less of a luxury. It's more mandatory for them if they're competitive athletes. I spoke to a guy this morning who is in his 40s, but legitimately competed in his first show as a classic physique athlete like a couple of weeks ago. One true novice, one novice, one masters, placed second in the overall. And if you saw this guy, you'd just be like, this guy is 1% away from being not only a pro but competitive as a pro. It's like a guy like that is invested in the process. It's like I said to him, what motivates you what keeps you on track when shit gets hard, when life gets crazy? And he was just like, I could see that he didn't really understand that question. It's just like,
What do you mean?
I don't know. I just
Do it.
This is what I just do. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
And also bearing in mind, this guy isn't like a personal trainer or something that's, in the gym all the time and, flexible schedule and all that. He works like a fucking crazy job, 14-hour shifts on his feet, like very, very busy, kids, wife, etc., family. And, when I have a call with somebody like that, and I know I'm referencing a very, very high level athlete, but I look at that and I go, man, people don't realize that whatever excuse they give me, it doesn't fly.
Yeah.
It doesn't fly because you can give me whatever excuse it is. I can guarantee you that I've heard it 1,000 times before, and I can guarantee you that I can point towards 20 other people that I'm currently coaching that are experiencing the same thing, if not worse, that are still doing everything that I'm asking them to do.
Yeah.
And we're all human.
Yep.
We're all human. If they can do it, you can do it. It's just that they've made the decision that they want to do it, and you've made the decision that you don't want to do it under the current circumstances.
Yeah.
So I think the higher level people you coach, you are going to be going into more detail. You are going to be giving them more of your time and effort and mental bandwidth, and therefore you're going to be charging more, and then you take on less people.
Yeah.
It has to be a give and take. I mean, the podcast that didn't record, or I think it was like you were blurred out, or I was blurred out.
I was blurred out.
I don't know, whatever. We spoke about that and kind of the change in my working schedule, why I changed it, and the basic premise was, when you start out as a coach, you're wanting, you love it. It's something that you're passionate about. You want to be growing in it. You want to be taking on more clients. You want to be essentially making a living from it. Then you want to be doing better and better and better. But you also want your reputation to grow, and you also want your clients to stick around, and you also, want to get good feedback. And you think that what's going to lead down that road is like, let's say, immediate responses or being highly accessible. But then you get to a point where you go, well, actually being constantly accessible and always working, you reach a point of diminishing returns where what you're giving your clients is actually less than if you just took a little bit better care of yourself.
Yep.
So like I've noticed, and I'm almost certain that my clients have noticed, that since I've changed that schedule and I'm doing 95% of my check-ins in the day early in the morning, where people are like, oh my God, I can't believe you wake up so early. But I'm like, yeah, but that means that most of my work is done by 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And from, 3, 4 until 7:30 to 8:30, I'm undistracted.
Yeah.
The house is quiet. I've just woken up. I'm focused as fuck. I'm motivated. When I wake up, I'm like, let's go. I'm just like, I can't wait to get going. So my check-ins are good. Whereas if I do that at 6 p.m. in the afternoon, now I'm tired. I'm hot. I've trained. I've gotten steps in. I've done a million other check-ins. I've created content. I've podcasted. I've, studied for an hour, whatever course I'm doing at the time. Like you're going to be getting, even if you're getting 70% of me, you're not getting 100%.
Yeah.
Wait an extra few hours, you're going to get 100%.
Yeah.
That's much better. So it's just about time management, and it's about managing your own energy like it's a finite resource, which it is. Which I know it is now.
Yeah.
Because I'm Captain Burnout.
I've seen it, dude. Like you, even before we started, just checking in on you. It was such a, I don't know, good. Like I'm cruising, and I'm not going to blame the change in location alone, but I think
that's
significantly.
It helped.
But I think it's taken some time to migrate your clients into this new way of working. Not new way, but like the current way of working, right?
Dude, I'm going to be honest, man. If there's anything about this job that has surprised me in the last year, it was that. I mean, I don't get surprised anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't get surprised. I've fucking heard and I've seen
coaching,
I've seen fucking everything by this point. Nothing surprises me. That surprised me. I honestly thought, because if I'm taking on an influx of new clients and I say, this is my procedure, this is my process up front, it's like, hey, this is what it is. Accept it, cool.
Yeah.
I thought with clients that have been around for years, it would be a much more significant, much harsher shift change.
Yeah.
Not the case at all. Like, I want to say 99.9% of people, but in reality, it was 100% of people were like, great, I like the boundaries. I'm so glad that you're taking care of yourself. Not a problem.
Yeah, because we need
and you want me at 100%, right?
I need you at 100%.
Yeah, there are people who literally need me at 100%.
I literally need you at 100%.
Dude, that was the big thing that really changed the way that I was thinking about things. Is that it's not about getting back to everyone within 2 hours. It's about getting back to everyone with 100% of what they're paying for, being able to exceed what they're actually paying for.
Yeah.
And you can't do that if you're just completely run down all the time.
Yeah.
And you know that I was at that level.
No, dude, I'm mad impressed.
I think about it now and I'm like, did I do that? And why did I do that?
You continue to surprise though, because I mean, I look at when you were prepping to get that beautiful shiny pro card behind
Dude, isn't that pretty?
It's just, guys, that's not plastic.
It is legitimately the best looking pro card that I've ever seen in my life.
Laser engraved into that. It looks sick. Like
that is pretty. I'm very proud to have that up there. Yeah.
With all the awesome behind it.
Yeah.
But like when you prep for that show, when you turn pro,
yeah,
dude, that period you stretched yourself so thin, right? That's when the
troublingly so.
Yeah, but that was when the bang happened in terms of like your content creation, all of that stuff. And I think, I don't know if we spoke about that. We did on the podcast that got deleted, right? That's when the big bang happened.
Yeah.
Then after the big bang, it was like everything happening. Then it was like the industrial revolution.
Yes.
Yeah. Like you were grinding away and then you got burnout and everything. And it's crazy that I think the reason why you get so far is your ability to endure, right? You've got this insane ability to endure difficult times where you're just like, I just have to do this.
Yeah.
Like it's not a choice for me. Like even as much as I love my job, like even though I might not be enjoying doing my job right now, I love what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to keep executing, keep giving the best of me, even if like by the end of the day, I'm wrung dry and I'm all like crispy and like done, right?
Yeah.
And it's kudos to you. But like what's even more impressive for me is your ability to finally like cut that part of you and be like, this is the line now.
Yeah.
Like I need to do this, not just for me, but for my relationships, my wife, my friends, most importantly, yourself.
Everything.
You're delivering the highest quality service that you could possibly deliver.
Well, I think bring a higher quality service.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's
there's something to be said about like you need. I at least do. Yeah. I need a certain amount of, because I'm an introvert by nature. You know this, but a lot of people may not know that because they only know me from the check-in videos or for the content from the YouTube videos. So I'm talking all the time and
socializing
and all that kind of stuff. I'm innately an introvert. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that introversion necessarily means that you're shy, but what it does mean is that communicating, being around people, you give energy.
Yes.
If you're an extrovert, oftentimes like Phet, extrovert, she can be very low on energy. She can be like, oh, I don't want to go out. I don't want to do it. But when she's there, she gets energy from that. And then she's rejuvenated. I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
So I might want to go out and I might want to socialize, but once that's done, I'm like, oh, I'm fine.
Yeah.
And there's a certain element of that happening, even though I'm not conversing with a person directly, I am conversing and I'm speaking and I'm engaging all day. So there's something to be said about having that downtime where maybe you're not fucking doing anything. Maybe you're just listening to music, sitting outside or whatever. some of my better ideas come to me in those moments. But if you don't allow yourself to have those moments, you're never going to have those ideas.
Yep.
I was telling you guys when we did that session at Move in Melrose, I was telling you about that like performance tracker that I put together.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
And not everyone's going to be super excited about that because it is complex and it's like nuanced. But that thought came to me at a time where I was just chilling. I'm just relaxing. I wasn't thinking about bodybuilding. I wasn't thinking about coaching. But I can guarantee you, if you do that, if you fill out that data and you track it accordingly, it's going to be a really, really big game changer in terms of how you see your progress as an athlete.
100%.
Where you're detaching yourself from it's a building phase, it's a fat loss phase, it's a whatever phase, and you always have a data point to gauge true body composition change over time.
Yeah.
And I never would have thought of that had it not been for giving myself that little bit of extra downtime. These podcasts are very important because it gets information out to people that maybe can't afford coaching.
Mm-hmm.
It puts you and me on the radar of people that maybe are looking for a coach or a new coach.
Yep.
And if I was just working 14 hours a day on check-ins, we wouldn't have the time to do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So yeah, that shift change has been very important. And I don't want to make it sound like I made that change and it was just smooth sailing. I'm still dealing with it because that mentality doesn't just go away overnight.
Yeah. I
still have days where I'll, finish my first work block and I'll be in like anxiety panic mode and I'll be like, oh, but 4 check-ins have come in since then and I need to do them now or I'm going to lose clients and then I'm going to lose my reputation and then this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Catastrophizing to the greatest extent, but I'm learning to control that.
Yeah.
And I'm leveraging it for coaching because I realize that as I've gone through this journey myself, I realize how important like your like mental health and mental clarity is and how that can drastically affect your physical outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
Like being in a better mental place, even if you're doing everything the same, nutritionally, training wise, etc., just being in a more positive place elicits better effects physically. Mm-hmm. So I am recommending to a lot of my clients, central nervous system regulation techniques and nature walks and breathing exercises and guided meditation and mindfulness and journaling and all that kind of stuff. And I'm recommending that to them while I am learning it myself. And I'm also taking it as a skill. And I said to Phet the other day, I know how important this is, and I know the significance that it can have in my life, but I've been such a internalized person for so long with lots of kind of negative self-talk and, negative thought patterns related to success and all that kind of stuff that it seems like such an overwhelming task to start and master at some point. Then I thought, isn't this what all the beginners feel like when they start off on this coaching journey?
That learning a new skill.
It's overwhelming. It's I need to do all these different things at once. And I was like, okay, well, let me just do it in the same way that I would recommend somebody starts this journey.
Yeah.
And just start slowly, tick the boxes, learn the skills, even when it feels like it's not working, stick with it anyway. And essentially the challenge that I've given myself is become as much of an expert in that as I am in nutrition, training, biomechanics, hormones, PEDs, etc.
Yeah.
And I think if I get that right, I think it's going to be the most crucial aspect of my coaching.
I think, look, for me, I'm so weird. I feel like I'm starting there without knowing I'm starting there. And there's so many tools I need to take on board in order for that to be valuable, right? But also I can't start there because what's most important is that people see results.
Yeah.
So it's like, listen. I know you've come to me for nutrition and training, but what I want you to do is go walk outside.
Yeah.
I want you to breathe and meditate. People be like, shut your mouth, man. Get out of here. I'm not going to start with that. So it's really nice to have this full circle moment where it's like, okay, cool. So this stuff that I value is valuable, and it might help someone outside. I mean, even if they stop the nutrition and training component of their lives, they'll still have the skill that they're learning, that's going to be so valuable in other ways that might just keep them going in
Yeah.
work, in their relationships, in whatever
Exactly.
other facet. Because, dude, honestly speaking, I think, with social media, the internet nowadays, we think having a abs and six pack and all of that adds value. Well, it really doesn't.
No.
Right? And not because it matters myself. I might have, like, we might train and stuff, but I really don't care about how I look.
It holds no intrinsic value to you
Yes.
aside from what it means in terms of your competitive career.
Exactly. It's a means to fulfilling the dream that I have.
Yeah.
Right. If they said be the fattest person I could be, and it was aligned with my goals, sort of like, tend in that direction as well.
Yeah.
But you get what I'm saying with it, right?
Yeah.
So I want to impart skills on people and teach them things that are going to be valuable for them even without.
Yeah.
If I know a lot of people say, if I can change one person's life, then that's enough for me. But honestly,
dude, it's legitimately true. Like anybody that thinks that it's not, change one person's life, like truly, and see how you feel. It's crazy, dude. It's the most rewarding thing ever to be like, oh, I was a part of that.
dude,
I was a part of that.
it's jarring.
It's crazy. That is why I get so invested in my clients' outcomes, because I'm like, dude, just understand that this is not about you getting abs. You think it's about that.
Yes.
You think it's about that. But like, see this process through. You're going to change your life in so many profoundly positive ways.
Yep.
On that note, it does baffle me now that I'm engaging in these techniques and exercises of mindfulness, how horrible we are to ourselves. I don't know if you are, because you're a very positive person.
Yeah. So,
but the shit that, like, I don't even realize it, but now I realize it.
Serious.
Because when I think it, I write it down.
Yeah.
I'm
But
like,
I think
my
that's the
my
thing.
God, I'm horrible to myself.
I think that's the people continue to self-talk negatively
Mhm.
without thinking they are.
Dude, it just becomes ingrained in you.
Exactly. And it becomes another way of you doing things and living life, right? And you then think everyone is doing this. Everyone has negative self-talk. We have it to varying degrees, obviously, but there's a tipping point as well, right? Where you
Yeah.
start like chopping down your, like, every time you have this thing, like you're chopping off a root, and then that root has to regrow for you to nourish who you are.
Yeah.
And for me, having I think a lot of people who have a partner who might have more self-talk than they do, you're like, I don't see what you see in yourself. I see what I see in you. And I see all the beautiful things, and all, for the most part, all the negative things. I mean, we all know our partners have like sides to them that we're like, but you see the beauty of them first. And I'm like, I have this thing with my missus where I'm like, don't talk that way about my wife.
Yeah. When you do that, I
I'm
like
like,
when you do that.
That's my wife. You don't talk about her that way, because it's like, value you above all these things that you're talking about.
Like, that's my friend. I don't like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now you being able to work on that, you're going to believe in yourself a whole lot more,
Mhm.
and you'll be in a much better mental state.
Because you're seeing the error in what you're thinking about yourself, just like you see the error in how other people think about themselves.
Exactly.
Dude, let me just tell you an interesting anecdote, because this is probably the first time that I noticed the work that I'm doing starting to actually take effect, right?
Mhm.
So obviously you know the story, but Saturday was Katie's show, and the deal was that we were supposed to be going out to Renaissance to go like to an Afro house thing after that, but the Afro House thing at Renaissance started at 9, ended at 2. So I was like, you know what? Even if we get there at 10, not a big deal. But the show started 2 hours late.
Yeah.
And brother, if I can tell you this, I think Tian's probably mentioned it, but not only was it one of the biggest shows that I've ever seen in terms of number of athletes,
Really?
but I've never, dude, that auditorium at Silver Star Casino with spectators was packed. It was full. Every seat was full. I've never seen that kind of support for a bodybuilding show before. It was unbelievable. I was like, how is this even happening?
Wow.
Okay. And I was getting in. I mean, we ended up not going, which was a good decision because it finished really late. We would have been at the club for like an hour and a half. But at the point where I still thought, okay, well, you know, there's still time to go, whatever, I started getting very in my head about, oh, but you know, I want to go because I've been looking forward to it and I want to enjoy it. And then I started putting like pressure on myself of like, you need to enjoy going because you want to go and you've wanted to go for so long. And oh, then what if you don't enjoy it? And what if you're tired? And like all this kind of stuff. And Tian's, being very similar to me, was doing the same thing in his head. And then at one point, I caught myself in my thoughts and I said, holy shit, Tian's. I was like, I need to fucking cut my own bullshit right now. And he said, what do you mean? And I said, I'm feeling so like nervous and anxious and like down about this whole situation. And I said, I'm doing the very thing that I've wanted to do my entire life as a career, like with a high level athlete that's just won, okay, headed to the overalls to compete against the overall winners from all the other categories. I've just been awarded this wonderful gold pro card. Like everybody in the federation, in the industry, people that I don't even know are greeting me and saying what's up to me, and I get, if I so choose, I get to also go to a club after this and have fun with my friends. And I'm in my own head about, oh, what if I'm tired? What if I don't enjoy it? I'll go the fuck home then. What am I stressing about? I'm literally, if the version of me 10 years ago could hear my thoughts in this moment, I would punch myself in the face.
Like, shut up.
Punch myself in the face. Like, are you really fucking complaining about this situation of which every single thing that's happening is amazing? What is the matter with you? I get to come home to my beautiful wife and my beautiful dog and my amazing friends. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. And I think I need to get comfortable with more negative self-talk.
Yeah.
You know? In the sense that, like,
never heard that before.
No, because it's new for me, right? It's very new for me to have these negative, because if someone's been going through it their whole lives, it becomes sort of, like you said, entrenched, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, that's another self. It is what it is. When you're not used to feeling and thinking negatively, and you started, you're like, oh my gosh, everything's a miss.
Yeah.
My whole life is a lie.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, okay, have this negative thought. You're like, all right, cool. What are you going to do with it now? Like, now I have to pivot into you. It's a whole thing of a person who's incapable of violence can't be commended for not being violent.
Yeah.
You know, so if I'm positive all the time because I'm just positive all the time, then, well, fuck, how special are you? If you're positive because you're managing the negativity, then it's even better, because now you know that regardless of the circumstances, you're going to be able to cope. You're going to be able to have that perspective that you have then, and it becomes more of a intentional state of mind as opposed to a default setting.
Yeah, that's very true. And I think it is important to have both. I think if you have no negative thoughts about yourself, the problems are the ones that aren't true.
Yes.
Or the ones that you're amplifying to like a level that's not true.
100%.
But if you have no negative self-thoughts or no self-criticism, then none of us are perfect. So there are things that we can improve and there are things that we can do better on. And we want to be self-aware enough to know what those things are so we can improve them. So you want to have both, but you don't want to have one exclusively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny. Wife goes, babe, I really wish, you know how I got imposter syndrome? I was like, yeah, I know. She's like, I really wish I had the opposite. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, well, you just think you're capable of everything. Even though you suck at it, you're just like, I'm the best. You know? I was like, yeah, no, it would be really cool to be like in Delulu land for the rest of your life. You just like, I'm capable of anything. Those are the people who just start businesses and it's like, I'm just gonna swing and see what happens.
Yeah, the thing is that I feel like I also have an element of that. I feel like there's a side of me that also has that part
Yeah.
where I'm like, whatever it is, I'm like, oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I can do that.
But you've got the proof because you're very good at picking up skills.
I'm good at picking up skills, and would say that I'm relentless until I do it.
You're good at persisting.
I'm good at persisting, which is the fucking greatest skill of all. It's
Exactly.
just not quitting anything, just fucking being persistent until you get it right.
Question.
Yeah.
Do you think that you're like bodybuilders in general? Do you think having that attribute is something that you're born with or something that you create?
That's such a good question.
Because that discipline is a skill.
That's what I've been wondering. I think I mean, the nature versus nurture thing is almost always an element of both.
Mm-hmm.
Almost always. I think, and I'm self-referencing here, that it falls a little bit more on the skill development nurture side of things because I never used to be like that.
Okay.
I never used to be like that at all.
Yeah.
And I can't even necessarily point out when it specifically changed. But at some point I was like, I remember thinking to myself, the thing that I like most about myself is that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I know that something that I'm particularly innately skilled at any. I mean, obviously there's some things. Like I was a good tennis player, I was a good basketball player, I'm a good bodybuilder, I was a good guitar player, but I became a great tennis player and a great basketball player and a great coach and not a great bodybuilder, but better than I ever thought I would be.
He says this
by just being fucking horribly persistent.
Yeah.
Because and I think that did come partially from the negative self-talk because I don't want to think about myself like I'm okay with failing at anything. I'm not okay with quitting something. That's just like I'm like the one thing that I don't want to be is mentally weak.
Yeah.
The one thing I don't want to be is mentally weak. Like the thought of like me signing up with a coach and then canceling because it's too hard or because life is difficult or work is stressful, that would screw me up mentally.
But you're honest with yourself to say that's why you quit.
Yeah.
Other people would blame it on a whole bunch of other reasons
Mm-hmm.
and be like, oh no, but life was hectic at this point. That's why I quit.
Yeah, but you see that I couldn't say that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to say that because I have the evidence and I have the proof of people whose life is way more hectic that are still doing it. And there's something about my psychology whereby I don't want to be able to not do something that other people can do under similar challenges.
100%.
And it's not even like I need to be doing it as well or achieve that level of what they're doing. I just need to be able to do it and stick it out to the best of my ability.
Mm-hmm.
Quitting is, bro, that shit screws you up as a person. It screws up your mentality. It like diminishes your perception of yourself.
Yeah.
And like if you quit something, especially if it's important to you, like if you've made a commitment, like I am going to do this thing.
Yep.
And then you quit, what are you subconsciously telling yourself?
I don't think people think.
They don't think about it, but it doesn't change the fact that whether they think about it or not, subconsciously they're changing their perception of themselves. They're changing their perception of themselves.
Yeah.
And you know, I think we've spoken about it before, at least I've spoken about it on other content that I put out, is the perception of yourself needs to change, like your self-identity needs to change before your physical self changes. Like if you're always thinking, I'm the fat person that eats pizza and eats burgers and drinks on the weekend with his friends and cheats on his diet and blah, blah, blah. You maybe you'll get through 10 weeks, 12 weeks, 14 weeks, 16 weeks. Maybe you'll lose a bunch of weight. Maybe you'll change your composition, but it will never last because you will revert to factory settings.
Yep.
At some point, when shit gets hard, when it gets challenging, when there, is a different obstacle thrown in your way that you haven't encountered before, if that internal narrative and that self-identity is still, I am this person, you will engage in those behaviors.
Mike said, and it's one of my favorite quotes from him, you need to be him before you become him.
Mm-hmm.
Like embody the mentality of the person or the person you're trying to become, so that you can walk the path that you need to walk to actually become that person.
Fuck yeah.
It's
powerful shit, man. It's airy fairy hippy dippy shit that my dad used to speak to me about when I was a kid, and I was like, yeah, fuck this guy, man. What is he talking about? Let me live my life.
Yeah, bro, set me free.
So it's true, bro. It's so true. I know this sounds crazy, but I want to become a master of creating happiness in myself.
Yeah.
Because I've done all the things that I thought this will bring me happiness, that will bring me happiness.
Yeah.
Acquiring this or doing this will bring me I've done all those things. Like, just in the fitness space, in the bodybuilding space, coaching as a career, starting a podcast, starting a YouTube channel, sponsored, Lift Fit, Heavy Nation, Pro Card, clients that have turned pro,
taking clients to Olympia,
taking clients to the Masters Olymp, all of that kind of, it's like, that's great and I love it. Hasn't made me happy.
Yeah.
So happiness then is not that, right? It's not the nice cars, not the nice house, it's not where you live, it's not all that kind of stuff. It's like it's something that you create, it's a decision that you make, and I haven't mastered that yet, but I want to. I really fucking want to.
And you,
thank you, buddy.
You genuinely, like, you're one of the most deserving people of that. Like, not because you've earned it, but because that's also what you want for others. Like, genuinely, you give what you want for yourself as well, essentially. Like, you're out there, wanting people to facilitating people's dreams, right? And I don't mean as
that makes me happy.
You honestly facilitate people's dreams.
That makes me happy.
And for you to be able to live yours, which is finding that happiness from within, I hope you get it, and I hope it makes you sick. I hope it's so sickly sweet. I hope you have like a food coma from the amount of happiness that you have, because you just...
I'm on the path, bro, but I'm also trying to remind myself to, because I think what's going to take away from that is like, oh, I want to get there. And it's like, oh, but it's also the journey.
Yeah.
It's also the process of getting there. That's enjoyable in and of itself, So yeah. But I'm going to kick you out.
I would say that's a great point to end the podcast on.
It's a perfect point to end the podcast on. And I'm speaking to my client Val at 5 p.m. It's 20 past 4.
Okay, no, we're good.
She is I'm pretty sure I told you about her. She's a Masters women's physique competitor. Unfucking believable.
Saw her she recently, right?
No.
Is it?
No, I think you're thinking about Bonnie.
Oh, yes, I saw. Yes.
So Bonnie's natural.
Yeah.
Val is enhanced.
Mm-hmm.
She's older than Bonnie. She's in her 60s. She's unfucking believable. And she is a 2-time cancer survivor.
Get lost.
Time cancer survivor. That is the kind of shit where I hear that and I'm like, I'm very sorry, but your work stress and your boss shouting at you and your girlfriend breaking up with you.
Yep.
Sorry, does not fly.
I'm not hearing it.
And I use that frame of reference with myself as well. I'm like, oh, I'm tired because I work. Like this chick had cancer twice, beat it twice, and dude,
now beating ass on.
Exactly. she's insane. She is the embodiment of like fucking ironclad mentality. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
How about we buy shit and sell it? Yeah,
There you go, man.
that's amazing.
Oh, buddy, I've had you back.
I am. So like every time we do this, just so
You're the
silky
OG, brother.
smooth.
You're the OG.
It's silky smooth. It's like butter. It's like room temperature butter. Just smooth, man.
Yeah, but now, you know, we know the days that you're available.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to have like all four of us on here at the same
We'll
time.
make a plan for it.
But I think that has to be like a weekend.
No, but I'll look if I need to make this happen. Let's make it happen. Have like a full day of content shooting.
That would be fucking sick.
You know,